Hello. I tried moving the camera just a little bit closer to see what that does. It's morning. I don't know about the light. I'm still working on that. It's my wife is upstairs. You might hear her walking around. Anyway, I want to get going on my Tour d'Europe. The German saying came to mind. It does so often. Aller Anfang schwer. Every beginning is heavy or difficult or hard. Well, that's the way I feel about this, so I want to get it going. I want to tell you about this tour. This is the second part, the second year of my class, the 9th day, the first video. And if you really get interested in this tour, you really should go back and look at videos 169.1, not 169.1.1, that was another one. 169.2 and 169.3. In that I talked about what I hoped to accomplish with the tour, or why I was doing it. Although in this one, 169.1, I think you'd want to start around the 4th minute, 30th second or something, because I'm talking about other things first. But then I come around to Europe travel. What I want to do here first, I think, is deal with a little bit more of the planning that I did. I'll go in chronological order through the tour, and I have a lot of film footage, a lot of it, to show you. And my daughter, Erica, she also has a lot of still photographs that I have available to show. I'm very worried that this doesn't end up being like a slideshow. I've been tortured to have to sit through slideshows. Someone goes on a trip and they show all their pictures. Oh, I hope it's not like that. I don't think it will be. And then PowerPoints became just a fancy new word for the same experience. I hope not. But one way or another, I'm going to make these visuals available to you. All right, in planning, before I even left, I wanted to point out that if you would decide to make a tour, not this tour, but something like this, if you can do it, if you could get in the off-season or the shoulder season, not the peak season, you will save a lot of money. I chose the shoulder season. If I'd gone in the off-season, which ends, so maybe it's like February and March, and in the fall, possibly November, the flight to Europe would have been cheaper still. But the shoulder season goes up right up until the end of May. And I basically chose the last week I had available, and I got a flight, round trip to Hamburg from Washington, D.C. for about $900, a little bit less, I think. And the travel agent was amazed, and she said, "You better buy that now." If I had waited as much as 1 week or 2 weeks, that would have been closer to $1,400, because it would have been in the peak season. Now, I think there's a lot of advantages to traveling when it's warm, so you're not having to carry all those coats and things, and if something goes awry, you're not left out in the cold. So anyway, the month of May, now that I'm retired, that wasn't really available before. When I took children, or students, to Europe, I had to wait till the end of the school year because the school district would have nothing to do with this, and I didn't want them to. I wanted to do it privately. But I had to wait until the end of the school year, and sometimes I could squeeze it in, still in the shoulder season, but not anymore, I don't think. And then, so there's $900. Well, the Eurail pass that I bought, and I talk about it here, I bought a pass for 15 days, unlimited travel. You could go to 17 countries. I had earlier looked at a different pass, but actually the price was almost the same. The pass was for 8 days, or maybe 10 days. The price was almost the same. It was less than $900, I think. And it would have been a little less if my daughter and I had always been traveling together. We weren't quite, not all of the time. But, you know, if you get interested in this and you want to, even for the fun of it, plan a tour, this is information you might want to know. But you have to pay extra for reservations. And by the time those reservations were added in, that probably added maybe $200 more. On the fast trains, the high-speed trains in Europe, the reservations sometimes are as much as $70 or so. There's one in France that was like that. So you got to watch out for that. All this included just the travel to and back and around Europe, just the travel, probably was $2,000. I had said that I thought I could do this trip for maybe $3,000, between $3,000 and $4,000. I think that was right. Now remember, this was extensive. This was 19 days, and from one end of Europe all the way to the other and back. All right, and then I wrote down Erica. I'm going to be talking about Erica a lot. My daughter, she traveled with me. You'll see pictures of her. You'll see her pictures. I say she was heroic because just before we left, it turned out that we could not get a reservation on a critical train link from Paris to Bordeaux. It was sold out. And that caught me by surprise, and I was rather put out that the Eurail Pass didn't make it clear that they sometimes sell out of what they have available. And we were going to have to buy that full price ticket, which would have been over $300, just that ticket. Well, Erica, and if we couldn't have made that fast train, this itinerary that was planned so tightly, we would have had to change so much. We maybe lop off a corner of Spain. Well, she, and to their credit, the Eurail Pass company, a man in Chicago, was helping, trying to solve the problem, rerouting it. But Erica figured it out. By leaving Paris on an earlier train, now we're talking 6 a.m. or so, we were able to still do that. I have begun, and my next video, probably tomorrow, I'll begin to tell you what happened when we actually undertook this trip. So, see you next time.